Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, Happy New Year to all of you guys. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season filled with love and laughter and stress-free, and hopefully you had some good times. It is New Year's Eve here. It's roughly 10 o'clock, but I am not a fan of New Year's Eve, and I try to distract myself, when I know midnight's coming. It's just, I've never cared for New Year's Eve in my life. And I thought I would sit down and film my Empties video. It's been a couple of weeks since I've sat down and actually filmed for my channel. I wanted to give a few updates about some things coming in January. First off, I want to acknowledge that I have dropped the ball in terms of drawing the names for my November giveaway for my channel. Some of you that I'm closer to know that I've been dealing with a lot of stuff all at one time the last couple of months, and it's gotten to be a little bit more than I can handle some days. And I have a list here of things I need to do for my channel, videos, and what I need to do and such. So I originally said I was going to have 2 winners for my channel, but I'm actually going to pick 4 names of winners so I can send some wax goodies your way, just to thank you and show that I'm sorry that I really haven't had time to dedicate to my channel the last couple of months, especially this last month. And then with the holidays coming, my mom was down here for 4 days last weekend, and I really, seems like everybody gets to be in a huge rush around the holiday time. So I do apologize. I am sorry for that. But like I said, those of you who know me, it was a little bit too much to bear some days. I'm okay. It's just, the ebb and flow of life. But I do want to tell you, I have some plans for what I want to do in January for my channel. I have quite a few videos I need to film, and I am also behind on filming haul videos and just videos in general that I need to film for you guys that I am looking forward to filming. I just, sometimes you need to put something on the back burner, and unfortunately it has been my channel. So that is going to be changing because 2024, I am making some huge changes in my life, all around, all parts of my life. And I will share those with you as time is appropriate to. But I'm turning 40 next year, and I am making some big changes for me. So, but anyways, I don't make resolutions. I make goals and plans for the future. And if I don't hit them, it's okay. I'll keep trying to achieve those ones. I know months ago I was tagged in my top 5 vendors and scents, and it's been on my to-do list for months. That's coming. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna say when I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna film it and post it, and then hopefully you guys will watch it. And I do realize that Steph, the Scented Gemini, excuse me, I think that's what her channel name is. Excuse me. She tagged me months back around August time, when my aunt passed and this stuff got discombobulated back then. I also am planning on doing a warmer tour at some point in the next couple of months. I don't have a ton of warmers, and I said I was going to do it when I had my home decorated for Christmas, but unfortunately that didn't happen, due to some unforeseen circumstances. I also am going to be doing a newbies video with some tips and tricks I've picked out. And actually tomorrow, January 1st, is my 3-year anniversary into vendor wax. January 1st of 2021. I made my very first significant order with Destination Wax, actually. She was my very first vendor order. So 3-year anniversary for me tomorrow. I can't believe it. I do have some skincare items I want to share with you guys. Nothing, I'm not sponsored by anybody. It's just me. Products I've been using the last few months. Skincare is another huge passion of mine in my life. I love skincare. It's part of my decompression and self-care mental health routine. Each day is my skincare routine. I have some products I've been working on using up and finishing to really give a good review of those products. And those are mainstream products, some small vendors and whatnot. I also want to do a video about vendors and shelf life. I feel that I'm not I haven't been melting vendor wax as long as some of you. Some of you have been melting for almost 10 years or so or longer. I've only been into the game for 3 years, but I feel I can give a good opinion and review of shelf life for vendors. I have a Teddy Bees haul I need to film. I've had the order for weeks. I just haven't sat down to do it. I haven't filmed a video for almost 2 weeks. I have Second and Spruce, the haul that was from, I think it was Saturday the 9th, when Erica had her ready to ship. I was at a basketball game up in Salt Lake, but I made my order in the car and was a little car sick from that. I have that to do. I also purchased a few advent calendars this past holiday season. I purchased, of course, my L3 one. I'm going to be doing a review on all 25 cents, and it was great this year. Jen did a killer job, in my opinion, on those blends. I also purchased new to me Starlit, the Starlit Corner. Actually, Advent I purchased from Ashley Connor, owns Starlit Corner. She's having a pre-order right now, and I think all the Valentine Advent boxes are sold out. I purchased one of those too. I honestly, I didn't have a lot of time to chop up my Advent calendars. The third Advent calendar I purchased was my blank label Advent. So I have plans to chop up the Advent calendar. Some sizes are meltable just one time. I've melted every day of L3s. I've melted most of Starlit Corners, but there's just some I have to chop, and I have not chopped wax since my last chop and chat. And the blank label were significantly large sizes that were multiple uses, and I have not melted any of the blank label Advent. So I'm going to be doing a video for all 3 of the Advent calendars. Just will probably be later in January once I get the Starlit Corner and the blank label ones melted enough so I can give a sufficient review of each day. L3 will be in the next week or so. I said my Second and Spruce. Empties, that's what I'm doing in this video here. I have my Melt of the Month, which, as I said in I believe in my last Empties video, I'm going to be doing my November and December's favorite melts of the month in one video, and then I'm going to be doing a Melts of the Year for 2023 in January in a couple of weeks or so. I need to do my November channel winners, like I said. I want to do another chop and chat. I have a huge box of wax I want to chop. One of my goals, I will say, I purchased wax yesterday. I'm saying yesterday because when the time you see this, it's going to be New Year's Day. So I purchased wax yesterday. I purchased from today, my time, of course, but I purchased from Kathy from Scoopable Wax Melts. She has her 3 cakes pre-order open for a few days. I did make a purchase with that. I purchased a Valentine Advent calendar from Starlit Corner. And did I purchase something else? I can't remember. I might have bought one more thing. I can't remember really. But up until then, I had gone 3 weeks without purchasing any wax. And considering I fell down the fall blend rabbit hole with buying wax and just having a ton of orders come in, I'm considering that that's a huge success for me. I am going to be concentrating on, once I film my chop and chat in January, I don't know when that's going to be. I need to see when my husband's going to be out of the house. I have a huge box of wax that I am hell-bent on using through. I am going to be significantly reducing the amount of wax that I purchased in 2024. Simple reason, I have too much wax. I need to make a dent in it, a significant dent at that. I do plan on sending out the boxes, like I said, for my channel winners, of course, and then I send a random act of kindness out or two a month or every month or so. I try to at least. I'm going to be scaling back significantly on how much I purchased. I promised my husband 2024 is going to be a year of change, and I'm changing up my purchasing schedule for wax. With that being said, I do have I was one of the winners from Lavender and Speckles Customs, and that's in the mail to me. I'll be getting that later this coming week. And Lavender and Speckles is going to be having a pre-order, I believe, on January 6th with a, smattering of scents. Beth has posted the list, and she has a couple of samplers she's going to be offering, pine cones and strawberry pound cake, I believe. The last video I want to do, I really, the last several months, especially the last 6 weeks of my life, has been a huge, huge challenge to my mental health. And you know, I talk about mental health on my channel. I'm not one to, I'm an advocate for it, and I will be until the day I die. And I need to do a small mental health video just to check in, just to, you know, do that as part of my therapy, is talking about it. And I choose to do it in a public manner, of course. And I'm going to be doing a mental health video. And I actually thought about sitting down and doing one tonight. But I actually was watching TV. I didn't sit down and do that. But I need to do that. And then finally, I have my GLP-1 and my GLP-1 inhibitor, which aka Ozempic, and I don't remember the other names right now, but that video, I am going to talk about my experiences with them because I've used several of them. And I am currently, I still take one. So, yeah, that's a little bit of an update, 10-minute update on my channel. I wanted to post a, in the community on my page, all of this, but I thought I'll just do it at the beginning of this video, since I know Empties videos tend to get a lot more views because we are interested in how does this stuff perform on warm. So without further ado, let's go on into the wax. So, okay. Guess who used up some candles? I have 4 candles here. I have promised myself, Candle Day came and went with Bath & Body Works. I bought 3 candles for myself. 3 Paris Cafe. Paris Cafe is coffee, strong coffee, brioche bread, and something else. I can't remember. But that's my favorite coffee candle. It never lets me down. And I thought, you know, I'll treat myself to that. I did also go and make a purchase at the semi-annual sale the day after Christmas. I know I said I divorced Bath & Body Works, but sometimes we have to go back for a fling before it's really over. So that was that. So I purchased some soaps and some wallflowers. In my basket here, I have some soaps and I have some wallflowers and some wax. I have been working on this. I did not even look at my last Empties video to know the dates for this, but it's a few weeks at least. I think the last video I filmed was my Empties video. So this is at least 2 weeks worth of Empties. So before I get into my basket, I'm going to talk about my candles. Okay. These are all Bath & Body Works candles, and some of these are a little older. I promised myself I am not bringing any more candles into this house until I can make a dent in my candle collection. Since I found vendor wax, I'm really not attracted to, drawn to, interested in my candles, you know. But I still respect them and I still want to use them. It's just I don't think about them as much as I do melting wax. So this first candle I want to talk about is Thanks and Giving. This is from the Thanksgiving line or the Harvest line from Bath & Body Works. This was poured in 2020. You can tell the date here on the bottom. The first number here is the last digit of the year it was poured. So, and then the next the 232, that's the 232nd day of the year of 2020, whatever day of the week or day of the month that was. This was poured. I don't really care about that. I really want to look at the year. So this was 3 years old. This is one of my favorite candles. However, it's kind of a dud. This is Juicy Red Apple, Gooey Caramel, and Praline Pieces. Why I say it's a dud. You can see, in my opinion, and one of these candles is last year's. They are not, the wicks in this one, you can see through here, the wax line is right here. I had to babysit these wicks from halfway down. And to me, that is a royal pain in the ass to have to babysit wicks in a candle. That's my opinion. I've always felt that way. And I know there are plenty of you out there who feel the same way. I don't want to have to babysit and cotton ball and take out wax and watch the candle. I really don't. I don't like drowning wicks. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. That is where candle crocks come into play. I need to buy mine. I haven't purchased it yet. I really haven't. I've had to stay off of Amazon. I mean, I can go back on it now, but my husband purchased some gifts of mine for Christmas from Amazon. So I had to stay off of Amazon for almost a month, which was hard, trust me. So I haven't purchased my candle crock, but this, it doesn't throw very well. Neither does the wallflower. There might be a wallflower in here I talk about for Thanksgiving, but I loved, this is my second candle I've had of this. I had this candle in a different line several years ago. That was fantastic. I loved it. It's caramel apple. It's a little bit more creamy caramel than some of the Circus Concession blends or caramel apple blends that are out there in vendor wax. But this one here is just, it's yummy, it's delicious, it's caramel, it's classic fall. You want to bite into a caramel apple smell. And the wick issue just kind of was a buzzkill for me with this one. Would I buy this candle again? Maybe, but I'm not sure I would. Just because of the wick issue. Second one I want to talk about, this one was poured in 2022. This is banana bundt cake, and you can see how much wax is left in here. These wicks will not light anymore. I try. They hold a flame for maybe a minute and then they burn out. So that's a lot of wax, in my opinion, that's left in the bottom of this candle. Once again, that's where a candle crock will come into play, but I don't have one right now. So I have 2 of these candles. The next one I burn, I will probably have my candle crock purchased by then, but this one here is banana bundt cake. So I will say with this one here, it took a few times of burning this candle to get it to kick. It really, I thought, my God, this is going to be another dud because I cannot smell this candle. After about the 3rd or 4th burn of this candle, I was graced with this delicious, it's not a powerhouse, but it's in the air. It lightly graces the air with this delicious, yummy banana cake. It's not banana nut bread. It's banana cake. And the notes of this are sweet banana, toasted walnut, and cinnamon. And I don't get the nuts as much in here as I do some other banana nut blends out there. I get just banana with a little bit of cinnamon. This is such a good, yummy, fattening, scrumptious smelling blend. I really like this. That being said, this is a small room performer. This is not going to throw in a large room. At least this batch here from 2022 is not going to do that. I have this candle, like I said, I have it in a solid label. It's yellow. I got it at a semi-annual sale, I think last year. But this one here, I would buy this again because it is a yummy banana cake scent. Next candle I have, this is an old one. This is Frosted Cranberry from 2016. Look at that. Back when this candle was $22.50. Remember those days, guys? $22.50 for these candles. Why I chose to burn this one? I've been working on this for several years. And I was gifted another Frosted Cranberry candle. So I thought, hey, it's time to get rid of the 2016 one. These notes are Frosted Cranberry, Red Delicious Apple, and Blonde Woods. That's on this candle. Now, granted, that is 8 years ago, so maybe the blend has changed since then, but I don't think it has because Frosted Cranberry's been around for 1,000 years. It's not going anywhere. It's one of my favorite fall blends. I love cranberry. This has just the perfect touch of apple and cranberry to it. This performs well. Once again, you can see here, the wicks just, they kind of peter out around, like that's a good bit of wax. I should be able to get it down to here at least. But like I said, I'm not babysitting the damn wicks. I'm just not doing it. I don't have time for that during the day, and I'm not going to do it. So, Baby Bath & Body Works, I've heard that last year the complaint with Candle Day candles was you can't smell any of them. This year's Candle Day complaint was they burn so fast. You know, you burn a candle, you only get 3 or 4 burns out of it and you're out of it. I mean, that's not very cost effective to me. So I chose to purchase my Paris Cafe because I love that candle, and it isn't always in my store, honestly. From the past when I used to go there, it isn't always there. So I decided to treat myself. I've been through a lot this year, so I decided to treat myself to my coffee candles. And the last one, this is from last year, 12/22. This is Winter White Woods. This was from Candle Day last year. I think this was an online exclusive. You can see how much wax is left in this one too. This one is glistening icicles, dried cedarwood bark, and spiced sandalwood. So this one here, I like it on cold. It is not a good performer, in my opinion, on warm. This is absolutely like a bathroom scent, meaning not that you couldn't melt this in a different room. It's not what I mean by that. It is not a big performer. It doesn't throw very well. This batch didn't, at least. Would I buy this a candle again? Excuse me. Probably not, no. Because it was just not living up to my expectations for a blend that has cedarwood and sandalwood and icicles in it. This should be stronger, in my opinion. So, those are my candles. I wanted to get those out of the way. Let's go into the wax basket. I didn't preview these before I hit record. So if some of these I don't have the notes to, I'll just stick them back in my basket and I'll talk about them next time I do an empties video. Some of the blends that are in here from the advent calendars, I will talk about in this video, but then like I said earlier, I'll do a separate video for those vendor-specific advent calendars. I have a couple of Sassy Girl Aroma perfumes in here to talk about, have a few soaps, and I have some wallflowers, which I'll try to grab here. I should have did this beforehand, but it's all right. Okay, there's one more wallflower. I purchased the Walmart Better Homes and Gardens oils. I put one in the hallway. My mom arrived last Friday, the 22nd, I think it was. She was going to come down on the 21st, but I needed an extra day. I needed an extra day to get my house together, to run the vacuum, to dust, to clean, to freshen the sheets up in this bedroom where she stayed, you know, stuff. And my mom is of the generation that she does not have a filter anymore, and she will let you know if the house needs cleaned. So, I didn't feel like dealing with that this year. So, I needed an extra day. So, she came down on Friday, and I put in my hallway, out in the hallway, at the top of the stairs, I got the cutest plugs from Walmart for the Better Homes and Gardens or the Mainstays. I think they're interchangeable. At this point, frankly, who really cares? But you know what I mean, what I'm talking about. I got a red truck that has a tree in the back, because red truck is my decor for the most part. And I got a gingerbread man that has part of his foot bitten off. Those are my two plugs that I got. I got 2 oil plugs. I put one in the hallway on Thursday. So last Thursday, the 21st. Do you know that that oil was gone by Tuesday? 4 days? 4 days for that oil plug to burn out? Like 4 days? That isn't cost effective. So I think once I'm done with the wallflowers, and yes, I just repurchased a handful of some Christmas blends. Once I'm done with them, I think I'm just going to go to Glade in Airwick, honestly. Because the Walmart route, yeah, they're a little bit cheaper, but if you're going to have to replace them 3 to 4 times a month, how is that cost effective? So it's not, in my opinion. Sorry if I'm seeming a little snarky. I'm not meaning to be. It's just, you know, we are all feeling the pain in terms of our economy and such. So I gotta make changes in terms of some of these things in my life, some brands I use and such. So, Home Fragrance is getting a facelift in my place. First one here I want to talk about. These are wallflowers. This is the Perfect Christmas. This is an enhanced fragrance. You can see that here if I zoom in here. One thing, I'm going to be getting a new phone in 2024. My phone is, I think he's 3. I'm not one that upgrades my phone a lot. I just, I probably should upgrade it when I need to, but I just haven't wanted to. So I'm going to be getting a new phone this year. So hopefully my camera will be a little bit better on my new phone. This is enhanced fragrance. On that note, my husband bought me a ring light for Christmas. I had a ring light that my niece bought me, but it really wasn't projecting the type of light I wanted. It wasn't strong enough, but he bought me a really nice ring light that I have to set up and get going. And if I need to get a new phone in the meantime, if it's compatible, all that stuff, I'm going to be having a ring light. So that's coming. And another thing I've been talking to a few people about, I want to try, I did post some things over Christmas of, you know, my baking and cooking and such. I want to try to do a monthly cooking segment where I make a recipe, whether it's a soup or a casserole or a baked good. I want to try to do that, but I need to get my filming situation in my kitchen a little bit smoother, just because of where my stove is in my kitchen and such. I need to practice with that. So that's something that I've wanted to do for a couple of years. I love to cook. I love my kitchen. It's therapy to me. I did not get the sewing and the crafty gene. I got the cooking gene. So I show my love through my cooking. So that's something I've been thinking about too. So back to this stuff. The Perfect Christmas. This is one of my favorite Christmas blends from Bath & Body Works. This is fresh cut pine, cinnamon sugar, and toasted marshmallow. So this has never been a powerhouse. It doesn't need to be. Not every scent is going to blow you out of the house. And I think a lot of us get caught up on that, where we have a blend where it's not knocking us down with scent. Each blend isn't meant to be that way. And I don't always want a scent to be that way, even though in reality you would think you would want it to be. In my opinion, it's nice to have something when you walk into a room, it's just lightly graced with it. I mean, if there's somebody that you work with that just bathes in cologne or perfume, that isn't necessarily pleasant all the time. So I kind of think of it, do you want to be sitting next to the person that has so much perfume and cologne on, that's all you can smell, or would you like to be grazed gently when they walk by with that beautiful fragrance? So I think of it that way with my home fragrance as well. So this here, I use this in my bedroom. I could not smell this scent. And I knew that going into it, but I wanted to use it because when I'm standing over in that area where my plug is in my bedroom, I can smell it. But on the other side of the room and all that, no. So this one here, will I buy this again? No. I'm done buying the Perfect Christmas and Wallflowers. I'll just stick to wax and the candles. I have a ton of Perfect Christmas candles. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorite scents. And now vendors have the Perfect Christmas. Sassy Girl Aroma has duped it, and there's a couple others that are very, very close to duping it, and that's good enough for me. The next one here is Moonlight Path. This is actually in the room I'm in, right here on the wall. Moonlight Path is a scent that was actually out when I was in high school. So I've been out of high school for now 22 years. Believe it or not, 2024, 22 years. Moonlight Path, it's a retired blend, I believe. This came out, I want to say, in the summer semi-annual sale. This is jasmine, tonka bean, patchouli, and vanilla. This is one, it's kind of hard to describe. And believe it or not, when this scent came out when I was in high school, I hated this scent. I thought it stunk. It smelled like garbage. I hated it. Now I love it. It just goes to show you, as you get older, as you mature, something you might have loved before, you hate now, and vice versa, and all that stuff. Food, the same way. Moonlight Path, I love this. Is this a powerhouse? No. But sitting right here, I can smell the Moonlight Path. When I'm here on the side of the bed and getting into the closet right here, I can smell it. I can smell it in this room. And that's what I want. I don't need this to go into my hallway and down my stairs and in my other rooms upstairs. I don't want that. So that one, I'm happy with that. The next one, this is Holiday. This is a spice blend for Christmas time. This is an enhanced fragrance also. This is red cinnamon sticks, Christmas clove buds, and ground nutmeg. So yes, this is a spicy blend. You have to like cinnamon, you have to like clove. But I will say, for this one being an enhanced fragrance, I've had this before in a candle, and it's been a little bit too much for me. It's been one that I think I actually have it in my collection. I melt it just a little bit, because it will knock you down with that spice. So this is one, Bath & Body Works, I'm thinking, When I was in college and high school, you know, 21, let me think here. I graduated from college in 2006, so 18 years ago. I graduated from college, believe it or not, 18 years ago, I think. Yeah. My math is poor some days, so just forget it if that isn't the right math. Spice. Bath & Body Works had a blend called Spice, and I don't know if they make it anymore. I really think it was when Slatkin was at Bath & Body Works. It was part of the Perfect Holiday collection. If you remember that, they had Spice and they had Pine, and I think that's when Winter became a scent. I think if you've been shopping with Bath & Body Works for several decades, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Spice was phenomenal. I love it. And I think it came out a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago in candles, but I haven't seen it since. But that being said, I haven't been looking for it necessarily. Holiday is like a diluted version or a weaker version of Spice, in my opinion. I like this. This is downstairs in my kitchen open concept dining room area, and I like this. I can smell this, but this is going to be strong because of that cinnamon and the clove and such. The last one I have is one I've talked about before and a poor performer, but this is Sweet Pea. This was a poor performer because it's just light. Sweet Pea is one of the original scents that Bath & Body Works had when they opened in the early 90s. This is one that's near and dear to my heart. It's better in body care. It's not great in wallflowers. I haven't been lucky in buying a candle in Sweet Pea. I know it exists. I think it actually came out this past year, but I didn't buy it, of course. This is Pink Petals, Juicy Raspberry, and Watery Pear. This is Sweet Pea. It's a flower. It's not too floral, but this one is more, it's more nostalgic for me of those days of my youth when the only thing we had to worry about was homework and studying for tests and such. I have a couple of soaps here I'd like to talk about. Mary Cherry Cheer. This one is a few years old. I keep scratching my face because I've been having a little bit of a sinus situation the last couple of weeks. I actually went to the sinus doctor on Friday and trying out something new for me to see if it can help my situation. So I know I've been touching my face a lot. It's just if I don't, it's a little uncomfortable for me. So forgive me for that, please. This is Mary Cherry Cheer. This is a merry and bright blend of maraschino cherry, pomegranate cider, and sugared musk. I love this blend. I want to say maybe this was maybe 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. I am not for sure. This was back when foamings were $6.50, so whenever that was. I love this blend. I have another one of these, I think, unless I gave it to my mom. One of us have it or had it. I love this. It's that deep, rich, almost black cherry with a little bit of pomegranate, which is that deep, rich, and bold. It's in season now, fruit, and I like this. I would buy this one again. And the last one I want to talk about, this is White Orchid Woods. This is a new one from this year to me, from fall time. This is Frosted Orchids, Bright Bergamot, and White Woods. I used this in my bathroom, and I was pleasantly surprised at this one. It's not too much floral. It's not too much bergamot. Bergamot can be kind of masculine. It's not like that. The woods, it's kind of like a creamy, I don't want to call it Palo Santo, but it's a creamy, rich wood, kind of like that is. I would buy this one again. I have two perfumes here I'd like to talk about from Sassy Girl Aroma, and then we'll get into the wax. I wanted to do everything in this video just because if I try to separate it and do separate videos, I just want to keep all of my empties in one video. This first one is Godfather. Now, Julie has had several sales this year. Julie being Sassy Girl Aroma by Julie G from Toma, Wisconsin. This is Godfather, aka Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. This is one of my favorite fragrances that's out there in the world. I am not fortunate enough to buy a true bottle of Tom Ford. One day in my, hopefully not too distant future, I'm going to treat myself to a real bottle of Tom Ford. Tobacco Vanille at that. I love Tobacco Vanille. This is, it's It's sexy, it's sophisticated, it's sexy vanilla, it's rich tobacco leaves, it's addictive. My husband likes the scent. I believe this is unisex. I'm pretty sure it is. I actually, Julie has had many sales. I've bought a ton of these little purse size or travel size perfumes because I feel that this generous amount in here gives you more than enough of a chance to see if that's going to work for you, if it's going to work with your body chemistry, you know, because something might smell good on you and terrible on me, vice versa. I do find with Julie's perfume, I do have to apply this a couple times a day. The scent does leave relatively quickly, but not all are the same. I have, for example, Trench Coat, which is Burberry, original, not Brit, Burberry. And that lasted on me most of the day. I sprayed it before I went into the office one day, and I could still smell it when I got in my car and myself that evening. So that one lasted. However, you know, when you spray perfume on yourself, sometimes your body gets used to it, just like sometimes we can't smell a wallflower that's in our house if we're in that room every day, constantly, kind of a thing, nose blind. But I purchased a large bottle of this for myself because this one I love. I wish that this had I almost wish Julie did body care because I would love this in body wash or creams or anything like that. I love this blend. I'll always buy that. And this next one here is my second. I shouldn't say first or second. These two here are my loves in perfume. This next one is Angel's Touch. Angel's Touch is, oh my goodness. The fragrance house that makes Angel's Touch is, oh, I can't remember. Kilian. Excuse me, Kilian. That's right. This is cognac, praline, and vanilla. But it's more than that. This is unisex also. It's sophisticated. It's sexy. It's sultry. It's mature, sexy, alluring vanilla with cognac and oak and just, this is so addictive. I have this in wax also. I love this blend. Several vendors make it. Swanky has Angel's Touch, and Jeannie's version is incredible also in wax and perfume. So, okay. Guess what we're going to talk about next? We're going to talk about all wax because I don't have anything else in here. I'll do my little samples last of as I get to them. I have used quite a few samples this past, the last couple of weeks. Strictly because the room I am in right now is our guest room, but it's my dressing room and wax room when we don't have a guest. And so I have most of my wax in this room, and I have to move it to my office when my mom comes down, which isn't a big deal. When I can't have my wax layout like I usually do in this room, I work out of a little shoebox, a little plastic tote with this shoebox size, and I have to put smaller quantities of wax in there. So I've been using a lot of samples the last couple of weeks. That being said, I do have a tote downstairs I work out of, so I've been you'll see what I mean. I have a good mixture in here, but I've been using a lot of candles from the keeping room. I've been using a few, I mean, I have a good bit in here. The samples, most of the samples that I have in here are from when I was melting upstairs in my guest bathroom in my tea light warmer. I have said a couple of times previously, I'm using my samples in that bathroom there. So that's what these are for. So no particular order. Here we go. I have a couple retails here. This first one here is Scentsy Jammy Time. This one, I've talked about this briefly with my husband, not with my husband, about my husband. Marty has notified me that he likes lavender, especially lavender at bedtime. And I also have shared my struggle with insomnia. My insomnia is the worst it's been in my whole entire life right now. And I'm working on some things to try to remedy that. It's very hard, though. You know, your body does what it wants to do. And lavender is something that completely can help me at bedtime, too. So I chose to melt Jammy Time. But I'll tell you where I melted this. I melted this downstairs when my mom was here to try to help reduce the anxiety level. That's all I have to say with that. This is a blend of bedtime stuff. I think this is a kids scent, you know, for jammy time, bedtime, relaxation. I think this is a blend of lavender, chamomile, and some other things in here. I like jammy time a lot. I'm not purchasing from Scentsy at this time, but if I choose to buy Scentsy again, if jammy time's available, I'll buy another bar of this. I think I have one more bar in my collection, and it's good. It's strong. I have it in this bag because sometimes Scentsy leaks the oils around the sides, so I just put it in this poly bag. So that's this one. And this second one here, this one I've been hoarding for years. Some of you who follow this, well, this is Better Homes and Gardens, but some of you who know, they kind of change how they don't release their Christmas scents like they used to. Does anybody know how old this one is? I don't remember. I want to say maybe 2019. 2018, somewhere around there. This is Just Like Christmas. They don't do this anymore, this holiday edition kind of a thing, at least not in my Walmarts around here. This is Just Like Christmas. I have been hoarding this for at least 3 years. I had 4 cubes left in here. But when I was going through my wax, before my mom came down, I put this in my tote downstairs and I wanted to melt it. I told my husband, you know, I'm changing my attitude towards wax and melting wax and purchasing wax for 2024, and I don't want to hoard. I'm going to use this up, even though I know I can't get it again. I'm going to use it. This is a fantastic, light, creamy cinnamon blend with a little bit of pine. I love this, and I melted it downstairs. I enjoyed it. It lasted almost all day. I got my money out of it. I got my time out of it. This was something that was really good for me to melt. And even though it's gone, I can still smell it in the clam. And I don't want to keep this clam and smell it. I don't want to keep this stuff around here. But just know, if this is back again, please let me know somehow if you saw this past year, or if this is available online. I haven't really gone looking. I didn't do a lot of home fragrance shopping this past holiday season. Please tell me no. Please let me know. This would be great. I love that scent. Okay, the next clam I have is from Second & Spruce. Second & Spruce is owned by Erica Kane from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is Cranberry Frostbite. I want to say this was part of the holiday sampler that Erica offered earlier this year. This is cranberry, ginger ale, and a hint of winter woods. So, this one. Ooh. Is so good. If you ever had cranberry ginger ale, you know, Canada Dry releases it around Thanksgiving time for X number of weeks. This is exactly like that. It's effervescent, it's cranberry, it has a little bit of a bite to it, it has a little bit of citrus. And this is winter woods. I don't know what that is. I didn't get too much of that in this. This is strictly cranberry ginger ale. I've complimented Erica on this cranberry oil. It's phenomenal, and I think she's going to keep this cranberry oil, although she did say it's a little bit more pricey, but she also understands a cranberry oil, a good one, is hard to find, and she's going to keep this one here. So, Cranberry Frostbite. That's all the clams I have. Next one I'll talk about here, this is Candles from the Keeping Room. This is Vanilla Lime Ice Cream. Now, this one I melted in my master bathroom, and Marty did not complain that he did not like this lime. Usually, Marty thinks that lime smells like vomit. I'll just say it. Putrid, vomit, whatever. He didn't say that about this. So there was enough of either... Candles from the Keeping Room is now closed. It was formerly owned by Carol Wollstonecraft. I shouldn't say formerly. She still owns it. She's just closed. She's retired. She did do briefly the online orders, but I really think that it became a little bit more of a challenge for her to keep up with all of that stuff, and she took some time off, and whether she's going to have enough inventory to open it up again in January, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to ever get to order again, just because I know how much of how many people did not get a chance to order before, and those are the ones that she's giving the chance to order before she goes into the pile of us that have ordered, you know, the last opening that she had. So I'm not hoarding my candles from the Keeping Room. I'm using my samples up first, and then I will start bringing my bags of my wax out and using it in my melting tote. So this one here, I liked this. It's just creamy, rich lime with a little bit of vanilla to it. I liked this one a lot. Next one I melted from Candles from the Keeping Room is pumpkin cinnamon bread. This one is self-explanatory. It's just pumpkin cinnamon bakery. And a little bit of spicy, but not too bad. I wanted to say in the beginning of this video, in January, I'm going to start concentrating on making a dent in some of my vendors. And it's hard saying that because I have a huge box of wax I'm going to chop in my next Chop and Chat sometime this month. January, I mean. And I have a ton of vendors I want to use, but I also want to concentrate on a specific vendor each month. January, I'm going to go with my favorite vendor, Sassy Girl Aroma. And it's hard to really put my finger on who is my favorite vendor, because I have like 4 that are tied for first place. And I know that isn't fair to say Julie's my favorite vendor, but I will say the first time I melted Sassy Girl Aroma in my home, the blend was strawberry cupcakes. And that captured my heart. It touched me in a way, like I could smell that down in my basement. And it was in my kitchen upstairs. And I thought, man, that's some really powerful quality wax. And Julie consistently has beautiful, aesthetically beautiful wax. She has fantastic blends, tons of bakery, tons of beach nights, tons of non-bakery. She has a lot of opportunities for us to purchase wax. Yes, there's been some shipping communication things, you know, but when you have a group as large as hers and a business that's been open as long as hers, you're going to have some of those hiccups, you know, now still too, in my opinion. Her wax, I have very little duds. I've had a few duds over the years, of course, just like we all have had, but her wax consistently performs at a high quality for me in my home. So that's why I say Sassy Girl is my favorite vendor. And I have my vendors that I purchase from, and you know, I know that there are some of you out there that don't purchase from certain vendors because of certain reasons and such, and that's fine and that's great, and I support you in all of that. I'm not looking at Julie as a person in terms of judging her for her wax. I'm looking at the product and how it works in my home, and that's how I am choosing my top vendors and ones I continue to support from in my home. That's just that's my prerogative, that's my choice, and I just thought I would explain that. So the first one I want to talk about here with Sassy Girl Aroma that I got through is Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein is similar to Mixing Bowl. I think it's Mixing Bowl. This one is wild berries, cream, zucchini, sweet cherries, coconut, and creamy vanilla. This is similar to Mixing Bowl, but I think Mixing Bowl is a little bit richer in wildberry mousse and serendipity. There are some of the same notes in here, you know, like coconut and cherry and vanilla. That's serendipity. And then wildberry. This doesn't say wildberry mousse, but this is wildberry. So it's similar, but not quite the same. I love this. I love wildberry. Wildberry is something that I've had in my home for a while now. And I recently fell in love with it in the last few months. And if there's a wildberry mousse blend on the pre-order, I'm buying it because it's good. I love it. It's delicious. I would buy this again. I did say Mixing Bowl I like a little bit more, but I would buy Young Frankenstein again. It's so good. Next is IHOP. IHOP I've had, oh man, this is probably my 6th or 7th brittle I've had of IHOP. IHOP is, in my opinion, one of Julie's best pumpkin pecan waffles / coffee blends. This is pumpkin pecan waffles, maple syrup and brown sugar, caramel, and coffee. This is so good. If you like pumpkin pecan waffles, if you like syrup, if you like caramel, if you like coffee, if you like all of those blends together, give IHOP a try. I just went through and refilled my Sassy Girl Aroma tote that I'm working out of right now. I keep all of Julie's brittles in one place, in not only my storage, but in my melting tote situation, because the brittles just, I can line them up beautifully. And I just refilled my tote, like I said, and I have a couple more brittles of IHOP. I love IHOP. I was out of it for a while, but I purchased some to fix that. And the last one I got through with Sassy Girl is I'll Get By With Bread. I melted a lot of this last week because when my mom was in this room here, I had my office closed and I had some Christmas gifts in there and stuff that I didn't want anybody to see, that I didn't wrap for certain reasons. So I kept my office closed, and I only had a couple of blends that I grabbed for up here to melt, and this brittle I grabbed. So I melted through this for a few days, and this is birthday cake, zucchini bread, cupcakes at Tiffany's, and cornbread. I will say, Julie has some of the best cornbread oil that's out there, in my opinion. I have several little samples from Sassy Girl Aroma in these little cups here, and one that I did melt recently is cornbread muffins. I don't know if this cornbread muffin is the same cornbread oil that's in here, but it's phenomenal. I'll Get By With Bread. This is scrumptious for about 1,000 reasons. This is so good. You have your birthday cake, you have your richness of the zucchini bread, you have your cupcakes at Tiffany's, you have your cornbread, and it all blends together in this delicious, fantastic bakery scrumptiousness. And that being said, cornbread muffins right here, I would buy this in a brittle, in a loaf. It's a great blender. It's great on its own. It's rich. It's like a good cousin of zucchini bread. It has some of the same spice profile to my nose, but not quite as sweet as zucchini bread is. I love this one. I would buy cornbread muffins. I have popcorn trifle. Now, this is a sample I received from my most recently received Sassy Girl Aroma. I think I did that haul. That was the last video I did, I believe. The last two videos I did was an Empties and my Sassy Girl Aroma haul. Popcorn trifle I got as a sample. I don't remember maybe I talked about this. I don't remember. I melted this, but oh my God. Oh my God. Is this good? It's caramel. It's got a little bit of chocolate. It's salty. I don't know if it's caramel corn or popcorn or a mixture of both. Whatever the hell this is, I need this in a large quantity. I am willing to break my low buy to I'm going to lay off buying Sassy Girl for a while because I kind of went a little nuts the last few months, like I know a lot of us did. Given that my videos are called I Bought Too Much, Said No One, and I'm on part 3. I think I'm part 4. I have one more order to come from Sassy Girl, but it's not that big of an order. But popcorn trifle, I definitely want to buy this. This is delicious. If you like any of those notes that I'm telling you, this is one for you. So good. Last one here. This is Luxury Leather. Now this was one I think the last video I did of Julie's stuff, I combined several hauls together. This was another one of the little sample cups I got, but for whatever reason, Poppy knocked this on the floor down in the kitchen, and I didn't bring it up with the order, and I just stuck it in my kitchen drawer. So this one I melted downstairs. I am not a leather and wax person. I am not. However, this is something different. There's something different in here. It's classy. It's creamy. It's not... Sometimes leather can be too sharp, too pungent, too astringent to the nose. It just is off-putting to me. And this one is not. I would be curious to see what are all the notes in this, because this is like a rich leather couch or a rich car that has leather seats, especially new leather seats, or freshly oiled leather seats. You know, just this is classy leather. Classy leather. Okay, let's keep going here. I know, a little bit of a longer video tonight, but hey, it's the holiday time. You know, just blabbering on. Koopa Claus comes to town. Koopa Claus is coming to town. This is Rose Girls. Rose Girls is owned by Jenny Oakes from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Jenny's mom is Kathy Foley or Faley. I'm not quite, maybe it's Faley. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Scoopable Wax Melts. She has a 3 cakes pre-order going on right now for a couple of days. So if you have been waiting for 3 cakes, now's your chance. 3 cakes won't be back until June. She's going to do 2 times a year for 3 cakes pre-orders. Anyways, this is Koopa Claus is coming to town. This is part of her Mario-inspired Mario Melter line. that I did not purchase from this year, nor did I buy any ready to ship. Yay! I did it. I did it. I'm proud of myself for that. This is Royal Sugar Cookies, Gilligan's Brew, and Baked Zucchini Bread. Gilligan's Brew is coconut cream, coconut milk, heavy cream, and something else like that. This is a fantastic, yummy, delicious zucchini bread blend. It has the creamy factor from the Sugar Cookie Royale and the Gilligan's Brew, and it has that fantastic baked zucchini bread. I think Rose Girls and Kathy, they have some of the same oils. They have some of the best zucchini bread out there. Granted, in my experience, Rose Girls Bakery tends to peter out sooner than later. So I tend to use, I'm using up, you know, I've used a lot of Rose Girls this year. And a lot of my Rose Girls that I have left over now are fresh blends or fruity blends. My bakery is just, I just have a handful left. Rose Girls is still muted on in my group. Her group is muted just for me to not buy. That's why. Nothing against our Rose Girls. It's just a protection mechanism against myself. So I don't go on there and buy. Okay. Next, I have a few Starlit Corners to talk about, but I think I'll talk about those all together because those were part of the Advent. Next, we have some Dessas. Dessa is Dessa Bonner from Gilbert, Arizona, but she's going to be moving somewhere in Ohio, hopefully, in the next couple of months. If you follow Dessa's Homespun Scents, she just finished pouring the huge pre-order that we bought from in November, and she's now starting to package and box and all of those things, refund combines, all that stuff, and get that shipped out. I think she said her goal date is January 15th. And then she's going to be on sabbatical, hiatus, whatever you want to call it, until her and her family, husband get settled, and once they find a home in Ohio to be closer to her family. I think her daughter lives there. I think she has a son also. I'm not sure where he is or anything about him, but I do know that she talks about her daughter and her husband and their grandbabies. So she's going to be moving, and I am one who has moved across the country. Arizona is a neighboring state of Utah, and Ohio is a neighboring state of Pennsylvania, where I'm from. So I've made that cross-country move, and it's stressful, and I wish her all the luck and all the good vibes because it's tough. It really is. Dessa is a fantastic lady, clear communicator, great product, and I know that I've had some duds from Dessa's over the years, but I feel that her fall and her winter blends are really where she's fantastic at blending. And she has some ones that aren't seasonal, like Sweet Macerated Strawberries, or her Pirate Voyage, which I love, and her Main Street Blueberry Waffles that aren't seasonal, and they're great too. She has tons of blends, and I'm really excited to get my order because she pulled some blends from the vault that haven't been around for a while. So I'm really excited to try those, and I have a video coming once I get that order. This first one is one of her most popular winter blends. This is Smoky Mountain Berries. This was a snap bar. This is the 7-piece snap bar that a lot of vendors use this shape. This is Festive Holiday Berries, Vanilla, Fraser Fir, and Bayberry. So this is all year. Not really, I shouldn't say it's a winter scent, although we think of pine and bayberry and cranberry and all of that in the fall. But really, you can melt that any time of year in your home. I do. I chose to melt this. I melted this the week of Christmas. I love it. It's just that little touch of holiday and that little touch of the season that just, you know, graces the air. Like, that goes along with the season. So this is, I really like this blend. Next one from Dessa I have is Gingerbread House. This was a mini loaf of just Gingerbread House. This is gingerbread, molasses, vanilla, and clove. This is one of my favorite gingerbread blends that's out there in the wax world, in my opinion. This is rich. It's dense. It has all the clove, the molasses, the ginger, the cinnamon, well, a little bit of cinnamon, not so much, but it has all those classic gingerbread spices that are in it. I made ginger cookies this year, and they were pretty damn good, if I must say so myself. And clove, vanilla, ginger, everything is in this blend. I think Dessa offers this blend a lot throughout the year, because who doesn't love a good gingerbread scent all year? I mean, I do. I have plenty more of this. This is one of my favorite gingerbread scents. Do I have any more Dessa in here? Let me see. I have a sample there. And let's, I don't think I do. Okay. I have that one. Actually, this is Brimstone and Broomsticks, but as I promised, I don't have the notes to this, so I'll do that one next time. I have a couple more over here I don't have the notes to. This is Hocus Pocus from Traverse City and The Underworld from L3. I'll do these ones next time once I look up the notes. The next one here is Berry Blue. This is Candles from the Keeping Room. I'm not looking up the notes for Candles from the Keeping Room simply because she's closed now, and there's really no reason to have to make notes for the future, in my opinion. So, also, a lot of Carol's blends are pretty self-explanatory, name-wise. So, I liked this. This was just, it was a nice, rich blue raspberry scent. I had this going in my bathroom, and it was juicy and crisp and rich and all those nice, you know, not effervescent, I wouldn't say, but it's just that nice crispness that sometimes we crave. I have another Dessa here I found in between here. This is Strawberry Zucchini Streusel. Now, Dessa's zucchini bread, I love zucchini bread, but my transparent opinion with Dessa's zucchini bread is it's too creamy for me. It doesn't have enough of that kick that some of us love. It's the part that gives it stinky feet or Fritos or whatever it is. That part of it is missing from this. But I know the group of you that's out there that doesn't really like zucchini bread because of what I just talked about. This you would like. And the strawberry is Strawberry Pound Cake. And the zucchini streusel, I believe, is her sugared zucchini streusel, which is one of her best sellers. I've had it alone, and I've had it in this sample, and her zucchini bread blends, it's just not strong enough for me. They're very, very creamy and rich. So if that's what you like in a zucchini bread, these are ones for you. It was okay. It was just it was a strawberry creamy blend. It wasn't anything spectacular to me, but I know this one is popular just because it's strawberry, and she does good strawberry blends. It's just the zucchini just isn't strong enough for my liking, and that's just me. I have Kirby Vintage Chic Scents, another closed vendor. Vintage Chic Scents is owned by Kirby Welsh from Grain Valley, Missouri. Kirby had her last opening in the middle of December, and she was updating her website here with stuff, but I think she probably has stopped doing that for the holiday time. But Vintage Chic is closed now. I have several blends in here. Well, a few blends in here I want to talk about that I got through. This first one is Christmas Tree Cakes Peanut Butter Ice Cream. Christmas Tree Cakes Peanut Butter Ice Cream. This is peanut butter, vanilla ice cream, yellow cake, vanilla buttercream, and a touch of green sprinkles. So we have the Little Debbie Christmas Tree Cakes, which to me is just vanilla cake. It doesn't smell like anything. It's just, you know, the nostalgia that's connected to it. And peanut butter. I will say, Kirby had one of the best peanut butter oils out there. I love her peanut butter oil. Her collectible lunchbox and her Jackie O peanut butter zucchini bread, whatever that blend is. Some of my favorite blends of bakery are the peanut butter ones I've been able to get from Vintage Chic. I love it. And this one was no different. This was like peanut butter cake. If you ever had peanut butter, I've had yellow cake with peanut butter frosting. I've had peanut butter frosting on chocolate cakes. That rich, creamy peanut butter frostings is what I get from this, because the buttercream is rich in the Christmas Tree Cake blend, and then coupled with that peanut butter, this was scrumptious. I love that one. And the next one I have is a tried and true classic. This is Saturday Evening Post. This is simply zucchini bread and vanilla bean Noel. Why I love this one? It's a really good zucchini bread. The vanilla bean Noel is just there for sweetness. But this one I have, I'm working on my original very first Blossom Bar I purchased from her in 2021. I'm working on that. And I have a loaf and I have another Blossom Bar of Saturday Evening Post. I made sure to buy because I do really like this one. Next one I want to talk about is another one of Second and Spruce. This was Clown and Coffee. This was a 4-pack of squares. I think this was part of her carnival sampler from this past summer. This is espresso, caramel apple, hints of cotton candy, and funnel cake. This was circus concession, circus, whatever you want to call it, with espresso. And it was good. I don't necessarily always think of apple and coffee, or caramel apple and coffee, or cotton candy and coffee, but this went well together. Would I buy this again? Probably not. I have had other Erica's coffee blends that I like a little bit more than this. This one wasn't terrible. It was different, but not different bad. Just something that oh, that's a different blend, apple and coffee. I don't really think about those two together, but it worked. And if I was given this again, I would melt it. It's just, I like some of her other coffee blends better, like Latte Da, Central Perk, Fall Coffee Shop, you know, just, there's ones like that. Another one of Erica's is Nutcrackers and Gnomes. This was from her winter or holiday sampler. This one is roasted chestnuts, pecans, masala chai, brown sugar, and marshmallow fireside. I loved this one. I melted this one downstairs in my kitchen area, and it has roasted pecans and masala chai. Chai has those warming spices, the cardamom and the what's in chai? I can't remember right now, but the warm spices that are part of chai. And the marshmallow fireside is that sweet, smoky creaminess to it. I really like that blend. Next, another Rose Girls. This is one of my favorite blends from Ginny. This is Blueberry Vanilla Sugar Bread. I love this. This is blueberry cobbler, vanilla bean Noel, brown sugar, and zucchini bread. I purposely ordered from Jenny when she offered this back in October. I had to get a few bags of it because this is one of my favorite blueberry blends I've ever smelled. It's blueberry cobbler and zucchini bread, and it's a delicious, scrumptious, perfect blueberry bakery blend. If you like all these notes and you haven't tried this, next time it's available, or if Kathy pours it, her mom, Kathy does pour some of Jenny's blends and vice versa, grab this one. It's fantastic. Another Rose Girls I finished is Thwomps. Thwomps is loved by so many of you. This is another one of the Mario inspired line. This is pine, peppermint, sugar cookie dough, and campfire marshmallow. So I know so many of you go goo-goo for pine and cookies. This has a little bit of peppermint in it too, to create that nice piney bakery situation. And Thwomps, I'll be honest with you, Thwomps is just okay to me. It's not something I could melt every day. It's a little bit, the pine, I've been kind of straying away from a ton of pine in my life. If I do have pine, I like to blend it with a cranberry or an apple or something. Straight pine has been a pass for me the last couple of years. I'm just going through, you know, phase or whatever you want to call it. This was just okay to me. I've had this bag. This was my original bag. I think this honestly is, I think this was 2 years old or maybe 3. I can't remember. But this, I like it. But Thwomps takes me a long time to use. But that being said, it is a good pine bakery. Okay, Strawberry Flapjacks from Candles from the Keeping Room. This was a full-size strawberry. That was a sample, and I love this. It's strawberry pancakes, basically. And this one here is, I didn't have a chance, I didn't have an opportunity to buy this one when Carol did her last opening, and I don't even know if it was offered, frankly. But this was one, I really liked this. It's strawberry pancakes. Yummy. A cinnamon graham cracker, another one of Carol's. This was just cinnamon graham cracker, just a light cinnamon bakery. Nothing spectacular there. Poet's Lair from Swanky. Swanky is owned by Jeannie Jeffrey from Washington, Silverdale or Bremerton, or maybe none of the above, but she's from Washington. Poet's Lair. I want to say Poet's Lair. This is a dupe for something. I don't know if it's Silence in the Library or what this is, but this is so good. And it's taken me a while to warm up to Swanky, her blends, specifically bakery. This is not bakery, of course, but her blends are not, there are some that are very, very strong, like Buttery Toast and Jam and Angel's Share, and anything that's perfumey or floral. Poet's Lair it's not necessarily crazy strong, but it has a beautiful lingering presence. I put Poet's Lair upstairs in my bedroom and my bathroom, and I went downstairs for a few hours. I came upstairs and I was thinking, man, it smells really nice up here. And I was trying to remember what I put up there. And I thought, oh man, that's Poet's Lair from Swanky. It's just there in the air, and it's just beautiful. Jeannie has beautiful, sophisticated blends. So I've said when I order from Swanky in the future and ongoing, it's going to be less bakery and more perfumey tobacco. Some of her best tobacco blends, her bubble bath blends, her rose. She has really good rose oils. I have a couple of Harrison, their tobacco blends, coming in the pre-order that she's working on right now. So that's Poet's Lair. Let's see. Another Rose Girls I have is Go Tell It on DK's Mountain. This was another one of the Mario line. This is Fresh Pine, Sweater Weather, and Vanilla Bee Noel. So this one is, Sweater Weather is very strong. It's a Bath & Body Works dupe. And this, I didn't really smell pine, and I certainly didn't smell Vanilla Bee Noel in this one. It is Sweater Weather with maybe a little touch of pine. This one, if you like Sweater Weather, you would like this one, because that's basically all I smelled with this one. Go Tell It on Donkey Kong's Mountain. Donkey Kong. So, coming down to the end here. This is Lavender and Speckles. Lavender and Speckles is owned by Beth Wilson from Rogersville, Alabama. As I said in the beginning of this video, she's going to be having a pre-order on the 6th of January, and her my custom order I made with her is in the mail. So this is pumpkin eggnog. This was so good. Her eggnog oil is very unique. I like it. It's not quite boozy eggnog, and it's not as bland as some vanilla eggnogs I've had, or as fake, it's artificial, as some eggnog oils I've had. This is a true eggnog oil, and I love it. And it's blended with pumpkin pecan waffles. So it's not super sweet. It's not super, I wouldn't say it's super syrupy or pumpkin pecan waffle. It's more eggnog graced with a little bit of the spice that's in the pumpkin pecan waffles. I really liked this blend. Really like that blend. Speaking of eggnog, we have Teddy Bees. Teddy Bees is owned by Tiffany Smith from Houston, Texas. She is going to be having a pre-order sometime in January. No date announced yet or anything like that. It's coming in January though. I have my haul to film over set up. I had my haul. I've had it for several weeks. I just haven't filmed a video. I did get some new blends that I feel I want to talk about because they'll probably come back at some point in the future. So this one is Witches Be Crazy for eggnog. Love this blend. Witches Be Crazy is pumpkin pecan waffles, birthday cake, cinnamon spice vanilla, and cookie dough, sugar cookie dough, something delicious and scrumptious and fattening and addictive with eggnog. This is so good. I love this one. Oh, is that good? So good and so strong. I have another Teddy Bees blend right here. This is Anthony's Cabin. This was a souffle I got through recently. This is birch leaves, citrus peel, pine cones, white florals, vetiver, sandalwood, and woods. This was actually a blend that was made for one of Tiffany's close friends or customers. I'm not quite sure who it is. It was made in honor of their son, who I believe passed on. And this is a clean, crisp birch scent. You have to like birch to like this blend. I'm not crazy in love with birch, especially crackling birch. It's just not something that I jive with. However, I wanted to try this blend because it's got a lot of other stuff going on in here other than just birch. I smelled a little bit of sandalwood, a little bit of pine cone, a little bit of birch. It balanced itself out very, 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 very well. This lingers too. It's a long-lasting scent. Next, we have Southbound. Southbound, oh man, this is going to be terrible of me. I don't remember the owner's name or where they're from, honestly. I've only bought from Southbound a couple of times, but this is Baking Spirits Bright. I purchased this because of my friend Tam and how much she loves this blend. So I went for the bakery bag and a pre-order earlier this year, and I grabbed it. This is fir needle, orange peel, warm spices, fresh baked cookies, pine sap, powdered sugar, and rich buttercream. Lots going on here. The dominant notes in this one, to my nose, is a combination of the pine, the orange, and the buttercream. I didn't get too much cookies. It was just a creamy pine citrus situation, and I like this one a lot. Would I buy this one again? Maybe, but only because there's a lot of other Christmas blends that I didn't purchase in that pre-order that I would want to try again. But that's that one. Coming down to the end here, we have Caramel Pumpkin Latte from Carol. And this one, it was pretty self-explanatory, just pumpkin caramel coffee. And Homemade Spiced Cranberry Biscuits. I absolutely loved this one. I love all of her biscuit blends or her biscuit oil. And this had just a little sprinkling of cinnamon in with that cranberry. If you put a little bit of cranberry, put a little bit of cinnamon in with your cranberry, it just brightens it up a little bit more. But this has a little bit of a spice component to it. Loved this one. Next is Limoncello Cream. This is from Kay's Scented Wax Melts. Kay's is owned by, Carla Meredith, and I believe, is she from Missouri? I think she's in Missouri or Illinois, one of the Midwest states. I'm sorry for not remembering that one. This is Limoncello Cream. My husband commented on this one. He loved this one a lot. He loves lemon. This is limoncello, which is an Italian liqueur. It's creamy, it's citrus, it's fresh, it's yummy. I love that one. And this last one here is Cafe Strawberry Brulee from Swanky. I want to see the notes in this because I don't really know the true notes of this one. And then the last little bunch here are my Starlit Corners Advent Calendar ones that I've used up. Starlit Corner is owned by Ashley Connor. And I don't know where she lives, honestly. I don't know where that vendor's from. I'm sorry. I try to give that information, but Ashley Connor is the owner. The first one here was day 2. She did a 12 Days of Christmas Advent Calendar. This was day 2. This was vanilla eggnog and snickerdoodle cookies. This one was really, really good. It was snickerdoodle, which is cinnamon sugar cookies, basically, with a little bit of extra eggnog added to it. I loved that one. Next is The Great Prince of the Forest, which I think is available on her pre-order right now. Great Prince of the Forest. This was day number, I didn't write it down. I tried to. Day number, maybe this was day number 1. This is Palo Santo, pine, sugar cookies, and glowing amber. So this was a nice pine, nature, outdoorsy blend with a little bit of amber to it and cookie, which I really liked that one too. Next, this was day number 4. This was Sweet Cornbread. Now, with this one, it was a little bit weird to me. At first, when I melted it, I had it next to my bed. When I put this in the warmer at first, it smelled weird to me. It wasn't quite like any cornbread I had before. But as it melted and it, continued to warm for 45 minutes or so, I got into bed and I was laying next to it and I was smelling it. I'm like, man, this really is a nice cornbread. It doesn't have quite some of the grainy quality that other cornbread oils have from other vendors. It was a little bit more sweet. This is called sweet cornbread. So that sweetness really had to come alive on warm. And I really don't remember what I smelled when I first smelled it, honestly, but it was just different to me. But this sweet cornbread, I liked it. I ended up really, really liking it. This next one is day 3. This is Iced Ginger Snap Cookies. Loved this one. Ginger Snap creamy ginger snap at that. Pretty good. Next one here is day number 10. This is raspberry cake and Christmas wishes. This one here it didn't really have that much of a throw to me, and it was a little bit of a raspberry that it really wasn't my favorite. So this one here was not, and I'm not really sure what Christmas wishes is either, but this one was not one of my favorites. Honestly. And this last one here is day number 11. This is cranberry jam and toast. This is so good. I love this one. Cranberry jam, a little bit of bakery, and it was really a nice performer, and it lasted a long time. So those are my most recent empties from the last part of December. I'm going to be doing another empties video in a few weeks once I accumulate up another bunch of wax. So hope everyone has a great Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and your family. Have a safe start of the year, and hopefully it's a good start of the year. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.